Hi, everybody. My name is John DePietro.
And I'm Bob Zagami with the Camper Report Show.
And on this Camper Report Show, Bob, there's an old phrase that says the circus is coming to town. Well, the circus has come to town, but they came to town with a big tent and a whole bunch of RVs. We're going to talk to those people that put on a circus, but depend upon RVs to make it work.
Pretty good. I've got a great interview with a business coach who works out of his RV many months out of the year and consults with people who want to buy a franchise, whether it's a McDonald's or a KOA. He advises them and gets them into the right franchise for their financial goals.
So there you go. Two situations where people use RVs for business. It's all coming up. Where, Bob?
On the Camper Report Show.
Stay with us, everyone. Hey, everybody, it's John from the Camper Report Show, and I want to introduce you to RV Mattress by Brooklyn Bedding. Now, Brooklyn Bedding will make a mattress to fit any size RV. The unit that we have in our Class C is a Brooklyn Dreamfold Hybrid. Well, we put it in a couple weeks ago. We've been on a couple of trips. Sometimes I've slept in it. When I've gone out alone, my wife has slept in it. And you know what? We both had great nights sleep. They have their own factory right in Arizona, so that gives them strict quality control. It was easy and fun to set up. You hear that? Wow. This is less than 30 seconds. So, that is luxury. Now, the thing I like best about this, there is a 120-night sleep trial. 4 months you can try this out. And guess what? It's got a 10-year warranty. We've had it for 2 weeks. Here's the reason I like it. It fits perfectly here where the old mattress was. It was easy to buy. You just go online and there's every choice imaginable, which says a lot because the RV biz has a million different sizes of mattresses. You should order it now. It's 25% off, and give yourself, your family, and anybody else who you travel with the best gift possible, the gift of a great night's sleep. Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Camper Report Show. My name is John DePietro. His name is Bob Zagami. And Bob, we are just back from the RV capital of the world, Elkhart, Indiana. We had some bruising 14, 15-hour days, and there's so much new in the industry. How do we even begin to tell our audience what's going on?
It was a great week, as it always is. From an attendance standpoint, I thought that there were less dealers than in prior years, and that may be due to the financial conditions and the banks, the model years that are on the dealer's lot. So I'm guessing when the final results come in is they didn't buy as many new products this year as they have in the past. But that doesn't mean that there weren't a lot of new products to look at and buy.
Right. And, although the general public is not aware of what's happening with the banking, with the interest rates, et cetera, although unless they're trying to buy one, we saw several manufacturers introducing lower entry points to get into camping. And we saw the Winnebago Access. We saw several other manufacturers come out with new products that are under $30,000 to get people into RVing for the first time ever.
I think it was very noticeable when you went through the different brands at Thor and Forest River, and certainly Winnebago. There is a definite trend to single axles, lightweight trailers, still family units, still get the bunk beds, still get outdoor kitchens, indoor kitchens. But the magic number was definitely $30,000. The MSRP under $30,000, that if they negotiate well, even with a 20% discount, they're going to be under $25,000. So I think what you're going to see at the consumer shows this year is a real rush for these particular products to get people into the RV lifestyle or back into the RV lifestyle if they were priced out with the tremendous increases that came about as a result of COVID and supply chain challenges.
Yep, no question. The other thing that we saw that was very interesting is some advances made in the park model segment of the RV industry, which I personally think, and you know even better than me because you've been an owner for several years, it's certainly one of the best values in housing that there is out there. But we were over at Elevation and Crop, and we saw some new stuff that, Anderson windows, which you never saw in a park model before.
Yeah, the amenities are household amenities, top of the line GE appliances, plumbing fixtures, very top of the line. And these are units that, although they're RVs, they can be your cabin in the woods, they can be your waterfront property in campgrounds, they can be your destination campers. So you don't go running around the country, but you pick out a particular location, someplace that you really love. In my case, it was always Old Orchard Beach in Maine. Then you go there every year and you have a house full of clothing. And it is in fact the second home, but it's an RV. And I maybe you'll see more dealers taking it. Takes a little bit more expertise, takes a little bit more lot space to do it, but I'm surprised that more dealers don't do it. And we're fortunate here in New England because Seacoast RVs isn't, they sell park models nationwide, but they received awards at the show from both Elevation and Krupp as the #1 park model dealer in the country.
Yep.
in Saco, Maine. So for those people in the Northeast, they like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another trend too that's getting a lot of attention in our industry, there were a lot of what many people will call overlander RVs. And these are, I guess one of the terms I heard that I liked the best were, these were for extreme boondocking. Yes, you can boondock in a small trailer or a fifth wheel and have your solar panels and your lithium batteries and go out there for 3 or 4 days. But these are very large pieces of equipment. They can sell well in excess of $100,000. But in some cases, you can stay out there as long as you want. They have water purification system. Yeah, solar water purification system. You pull up next to a muddy pond, stick a hose in, and purify the water for your drinking water in your showers and whatnot.
Yeah. The other interesting phenomenon that I saw this year with several manufacturers, both on the motorized as well as the towable category, is that these manufacturers are coming out with what they call midnight editions, meaning blacked out units, totally black wheels, black tires, black paint jobs. We saw it with Keystone's Cougar Midnight Edition, as well as Tiffin has come out with a midnight edition on either a Phaeton or an Allegro bus. They look really cool. Inside, they're pretty much the same, but the appearance is all that counts.
Well, and that's a good point, because that's also carried over into the Super C category, because the Super Cs are coming out on 4-wheel drive chassis, and they have the black wheels, they have the black trim, and they are designed for extended off-road adventure. Dynamax had one. I mean, several of the companies had. Tiffin had one that you wouldn't only see several years ago, but you walk in and you can tell that they're rugged. They just look more rugged, and they look like they're not to park around the campfire and cook s'mores. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, exactly. So that's pretty much a wrap. You know what? The major manufacturers were there. They had all their new products out, and everything will be available. Actually, some units are available right now at showrooms across the country.
Well, also, these units are going to be in many of the consumer shows once we get out the gate, get past the holidays, Tampa and Boston and all the consumer shows that are coming up. You're going to see some of these units in that. That's the purpose of the September open house, is for the dealers to buy the inventory for the spring and have something really special to show at those open houses and RV shows, right?
So there's a wrap on the news. Stay with us, everybody. We've got 2 great stories coming up for you right here. Where, Bob?
On the Camper Report Show.
Stay with us, everyone. Everybody, welcome back to the Camp Report Show. My name is John DePietro, and you can see we're in an RV, but not just any old RV. This RV is the office and home of the executive producers, Hillary and Carlo, and the show is the Legend Cirque. And Hillary, tell us where we're at.
We are in Sleepy Hollow, New York. It's the home of the historic tale, The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. And the Legend Cirque is a production based on that legend in a circus style retelling of the
Retelling.
story. Yes.
Okay. And Carlo, you said something very interesting in that you are using RVs as your dressing rooms and living quarters for your performers. Why do you like to do that?
We like to keep the cast close. We like to make a village out of the backyard area. And it allows the artists access to the tent to rehearse and practice before each show instead of going to a hotel that might be 10 miles away.
Right, and certainly cost factors are an issue because you can cook your own food,
Right.
you know, bring your own snacks, that type of thing.
Yep.
But this is a very interesting show in that it's tied into a theme and in a tourist attraction at a special time of the year, Halloween, which is kind of a favorite for everyone, right?
Sleepy Hollow is Halloween Central on the East Coast. More people come here in the short period of time, 4 weeks that October is, to visit Sleepy Hollow, visit the cemetery, the Dutch church, all the highlights that make this town particularly important and fun during the Halloween season.
And I know that this is your second year coming here. You've got the big circus tent, and you know we're in the bullpen. I call it in the back. It's raining out right now, but you can see that when the weather gets better, in about a week, you have a whole area out here for conversation and cookouts and that type of thing. And RVing really gives you that opportunity to do that a hotel or other accommodations wouldn't. Right, Hillary?
Right, definitely. And you have your home on your back. Circus life can be hard at times, and going from city to city or just even being on a lot like this, but you have a comfort in knowing that your home and everything you need is right here. It's like it stays constant.
And we can have spontaneous conversations with the artists.
Yeah.
You know, I need to give them a note as the director. I can just knock on the door. I don't have to.
They're there.
Right. They're there.
Yep.
The other nice thing is the Village of Sleepy Hollow created a post, 30 amp post for us.
Oh, okay.
So
Right there for your hookups.
We got our hookups. The gray water goes out into the construction lot. We get the honey truck to come by once a week. You know, we've got that all covered. I would say it's almost better than a campground because DPW is always available to us. We give them a text, hey, we need a blah, 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 and
Hook
we're
up.
here.
Come on over.
Yeah.
And we should also say that not just during the show are you RVers, but this is your own private RV that you own,
Yeah.
and RV quite a bit throughout the year.
Yeah. We love.
Mostly for work. So it's a different experience, I think, than people who are in it for camping and vacations.
Right.
Like I converted ours to have a desk because that was important to us to have an office. We run our whole company out of the RV, and we have now a Tesla satellite to get the Starlink to get the internet going and do our business. So that's sort of how it functions for us.
Yeah. Whereas if you were in a hotel, you got to lug everything. You got to lug the printer.
Yeah.
You got to lug the laptop. You got to lug. Hope that the internet shows up that particular day. And although we're right next to train tracks, you don't travel by train. You travel by RV. There are other circuses that used to travel by train. But the interesting part from your performer's perspective is that they don't have to, schlep themselves all over town at various times of the day and catch an Uber or a taxi. And
Right. They settle in.
Yeah, the show is hard enough as it is. Right. Like, it's very physically demanding, and we do 6 shows a week. So they can just, go and cook a meal in between shows and not have to worry about, all of those other things.
Those logistics.
Yeah, that would burn you out, I think.
Yep.
The only thing we don't have down here is a laundry.
Laundry, okay.
Yeah, we haven't figured that out yet.
Yeah, there are trailers that are
Yeah.
built that way with laundries and showers for a big crew. So maybe next year.
Yeah, well, you're seeing more and more circuses now that travel with the talent that does stay in RVs because of the reasons that you said. So tell us a little bit about where we're located and how people, if they want to, I mean, look at how many people live in New York City, 30 million, I don't know, whatever the number is, but this is an easy place to get here. Tell us where we are and how people can get tickets.
The website for the show is called thelegendcirque.com, and all of the information is on there, the show times and tickets. And our company is called Westchester Circus Arts. That also has a website, westchestercircusarts.com. We have other productions and school programs, assembly shows, things for kids on that website.
Yeah. And the circus goes now till
October 29th.
October 29th.
Yeah. So we have 6 shows a week, Thursdays and Fridays at 7, weekends 2 and 7 p.m. And it's a nice intimate tent, so we recommend you buy early. The seating is limited, and in the tourist season especially, we're already getting sold out sales towards the end of the run.
And I will tell you, we saw the show. There is not 1 minute of dead time. I mean, everything is choreographed. Even the walk on and walk off of the talent is spectacular. And I'm sure that all of our RVing friends, well, they won't be able to drive by because we're kind of, it's not like going to be right off the interstate highway. They've got to look for this place.
You got to use the GPS.
Look
and
for
then
the
follow
GPS.
the signs.
Follow.
Yeah.
In traditional circus, the advanced man would put up arrows to tell the route.
Oh, that's right.
So we
Those
did
arrows.
that
You
here.
got the
so
signage.
follow the arrows. on
Which
the
my
sign.
wife saw. I didn't see. And I
Yeah,
said, oh, it's there.
interesting.
She goes, there have been signs for the last mile. But anyway, the signs are good in that RVing is popular. RVing as a business, or RVing while you do business, is more popular than ever before. We will show you that office set up here as well, and wish you well as you continue with the show.
Thank you, Jen.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it.
This is the Camper Report Show. Stay with us, everybody.
All right, welcome back, everybody, to the Camper Report Show. I'm delighted to have Dante Vespignani, one of our good friends up here in New England, with us on the Camper Report Show today because he's an RVer, he's a consultant, he's a business coach. But I'll shut up, Dante, and I'll let you tell people who you are and what you do.
Sure. Thanks, Bob. Appreciate it. Kind of give you a real quick background. I spent 20 years in the restaurant business, being a franchise consultant. I had 847 restaurants, 200 and some franchisees all across the eastern United States, to the Mississippi River. And that's how I kind of got into the franchising aspect. For the last 15 years, I've been doing my own consulting, helping everybody and anybody that's willing to look at a franchise, kind of walk through that process. It can be daunting at times. It can be a little overwhelming, and I can provide a very simple path into looking into a franchise and kind of exploring and seeing what's out there in a nutshell, Bob.
Yeah, it's a very interesting business model, and you used to do it from home, but now you do it from an RV. So talk about the RV perspective and why you like the transition from the house to the RV. I assume you like it. I assume you like it very much.
I wouldn't have bought the rig I bought if I didn't like it a lot. No, I mean, it's excellent. I have that type of personality. I could just never retire and not do anything. So my consulting practice works well into the RV lifestyle. I do have my own setup on the high-speed internet service, so it's secure. I set up half of my dining room table, much to the chagrin of my wife, as a mini office. And I do have the office in the driver's seat or the passenger seat of the RV. There's a small office space there I can work out of, but it works well because, I only want to work maybe 15, 20 hours a week. We can make calls going into the campgrounds, or when you're in a campground. You can actually do work on the road. I have a headset I put on. I give my wife a little pad and paper, and if I tell her to take a note, she takes a note for me. and we just travel down the road. The RV lifestyle is so relaxing. I mean, compared to working in the office here, where I'm at right now in Portland, Maine, and I can't really explain why, Bob. It's just so much more relaxing being in a motorhome in a campground. The atmosphere is just totally different. You're more relaxed and you're more productive.
You're right. And I think, in the post-COVID environment, as people realize that they could live in an RV, travel in an RV, and work in an RV, that for that same reason, because when they get out of the office, they're going to relax, and not having to go to the office adds to the pleasure. And you do it on your time. You set your own schedule. Why franchising? What drew you to that, and still actively consulting with people in that field?
It is probably one of the safest ways to get into business that you can think of. If you want to go back about 1,000 or 2,000 years, the franchise concept was modeled after the Catholic Church, actually, and that's been around for how many thousands of years?
A long time.
A long time. But again, I like to use statistics. I'm a numbers kind of guy. If you look at the Department of Labor statistics, if you go into business by yourself, within 10 years, there's an 80% chance you're going to be out of business. Vis-a-vis, if you're in a franchise, they provide the systems, they provide the marketing, they provide all the work that I don't like to do. And in that same 10-year period in a franchise, it's totally vice versa. 80% will still be in business. You have the backing, especially during the COVID. I learned that a lot. Many people I know of during COVID that had their own businesses, they struggled if they made it at all. And I found that in the COVID period, all the franchisees within a specific model, whatever that model was, actually got together on Zoom meetings and used all their brain cells and created marketing efficiencies that kept them in business. And actually, several of them thrived during the business during COVID.
That's a good point. When we look at it, and you look at RVs and yourself, because you want to do that when you get to that point where you want to get on the road yourself, what are the types of franchise? Well, there's several reasons why people succeed with the franchises, but there are actually franchises in the RV industry, the outdoor hospitality industry. So which one do you want to tackle first? What types of franchises they might look at, or the 10, I think you said you had 10 reasons why they might look at a franchise?
Yeah, I mean, there's, of course, you have your Jellystones and your KOAs. They're franchises. They're on the expensive side to get into. You got to have some money to do that. Where a lot of consulting franchises that I've worked with, you can do from the RV, just with your cell phone and a laptop. All the clients I work with, it's cell phone, laptop. That's all it is. There's well, kind of give you two examples in the marketing aspect. If you like internet marketing, there's a company called WSI and another company called GMP Internet. You can do that from the RV, cell phone, laptop. But I guess if you have somebody out there that really wants to look at a franchise and delve deep into it, I mean, work with a coach. And here's a key thing to learn about a coach. If they want to charge you for their services, that's a bad thing. That's a no-no. No, they shouldn't charge you. All my work is done gratis. I get paid on the back end. If I send somebody to a franchise and they get involved, I would bill that company for my services. So, I mean, I would recommend highly that someone work with a coach. They have more access to different franchises that are out there that are successful.
Well, that's a tremendous advantage, that they don't have any upfront exposure when they're trying to determine a major life event in terms of changing from one type of business to another type of business, that they can, avail themselves of your service. And then if you find, and I'm sure a lot of that is determining the right type of franchise for the right type of personality or business. Talk a little bit about that, because I'm sure it's not for everybody. But then I'm sure there's franchises that work for one type of person, but not another.
Oh, absolutely. You're right about that, Bob. What I do, just in my situation, I interview my clients. I mean, I have a probably about a 50-question interview that I do, and I kind of really try to find out what makes them tick. You know, you're going into your next major career move here. Um, let's find something that you'd love to do. And I guess the most important question I have to my clients, and that happened actually just this morning, I asked a client, if you had no encumbrances upon you whatsoever, what would you love to do for the rest of your career?
Right.
Really, what fires your jets up in the morning? What wants you make you get out of bed and jump and grab the phone or talk to somebody? I mean, because you have the opportunity at that time to explore that for free.
Yeah. Yep. And you're right. If you have to get out of bed in the morning, you might as well like what you do. But we all lived many years and have met many people that go to work every morning, but they don't like what they do. And that shows. That shows whether it's in a corporate environment, shows whether it's in a franchise. People can tell when you enjoy what you do.
Oh, absolutely. And I see that every day. I mean, I talk to a number of people on a weekly basis, and 3/4 of them are just miserable in their jobs.
Right.
Uh,
Right.
and they're really liking being at home now, having that freedom. You're in an RV, you got that freedom. It's like last winter, it was our first fun time going for 6 months out of Maine and doing the snowbird thing, and we loved it. We're on the west coast of Florida, east coast of Florida. We met phenomenal people that down in Port Charlotte. A quick example: there's a guy sitting next to us in the next campsite. He had a beautiful Tiffin. He had about a 20-foot trailer behind the Tiffin. And what he did is he had the trailer outfitted into an office. So he would walk out of the Tiffin, and I'd see him in the morning. He'd have a shirt and tie on, short pants, sandals, walk into the trailer, had a little air conditioning unit on it, and was going to the office.
That's beautiful. There's a lot of stories like that. All right, our guest this morning is Dante Vespergnani. Turma Inc. is the name of the consulting company and business coach company. Any last thoughts for people that might be thinking about franchising? What do they do if they want to get in touch with you? What do they do in general?
I'll send you my website. You can post that.
Yeah, we'll post that. Sure. Yep.
And I've had the same cell phone number for the last 20 years. So, I mean, I'll send you my website, cell phone number, contact info. And if they want to go on their own, they can go on their own. They don't have to contact me. Just make sure when you hire that coach, they're not going to charge you for your services. There's a number of organizations out there that are franchises that are professional coaches.
Yeah. And I understand that in a few weeks, you're going to be leaving Maine once again and heading to Florida.
October 18th, back down to Florida, spend the winter.
All right. We'll get together. We'll have a drink and I'll see you down here.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much for joining us this morning.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Bob.